Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Can all of you hear me clearly? Hello. Okay, great. So sorry for the delay in joining as I was facing some internet issues, but everything is set up now. I think with IQS have changed their layout, right? I'm also experiencing this for the first time, like all of you. Anyways, Kelvin, can you hear me? Okay, let me upload the PPT. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for the topics that we have covered in my previous classes? Kelvin, can you hear me? I cannot see your response in the chat box. Kelvin, I am unable to see your response in the chat box. What about others? Seher, Sanobar, Dijesh, Wilfred, can all of you hear me? Wilfred, what about you? Can you hear me? Okay, great. So, okay, let me upload the PPT. What about other students? Other students have not joined yet. Anyways, okay, let the PPT get uploaded and then it will. So the topic that we will going to discuss today is about financial management. Right, we will see the basics of financial management and what is the role of finance people in any organization. Have any one of you studied in the past anything about financial management, either in your graduation or in your school level? Okay, so I have uploaded the PPT. Can all of you see the PPT on the whiteboard? Can all of you see the PPT on the whiteboard? No. But I have uploaded back to classic view. Okay, I have switched back to the classic view of VisIQ. Right, I saw the option of switching back to the old format. So I have switched to the old format. Okay, can all of you see the PPT now? Okay, so Noble says yes. What about others? Wilfred, Nellicott, Kelvin, what about you? Please respond in the chat box quickly so that I can proceed. Good evening, Ajit. Ajit, can you see the PPT? Okay, great. So let's start with the class. So the topic that we will be discussing today is about the basics of financial management decisions and the role of a financial manager in any organization. Right? We will see what all tasks does a finance manager does in any organization. Okay. So the key concept and skills that we will learn today is know the basic types of financial management decisions and the role of the financial manager. Second, know the financial implications of the different forms of business organization. Third, know the goal of a financial management in any organization. What all activities does a financial management in any organization does. And the last goal is to understand the conflicts of interest that can arise between owners and managers. Right, there is a very thin line between the owners and managers of any organization. Right, we will also see that from the perspective of a financial management. Clear? Now the first question that comes in our mind is, what is financial management and why is it important to all of us? What is financial management? How will you define or summarize a financial management? Everyone. All of you are working peoples, and I hope all of you have a finance department in your organization. So you can try to define a financial management. No one? Okay, see, a financial management refers to the efficient and effective management of money, or the management of funds, or the management of liquidity, which we call it in terms of management, in such a manner so as to accomplish the objectives of the organization. Right? So we can say that it is a specialized function directly associated with the top management. Clear? Now let's see the objectives of financial management. Why a financial management is required in an organization. Why do we need a financial management department or a finance department? So let's see the objectives of a finance department or a financial management. So the first objective is the financial management is generally concerned with procurement, allocation and control of financial resources of a concern. So the objectives can be to ensure regular and adequate supply of funds to the concern. Right now, if you have noticed that in an organization, right, there are various departments, like we have a technical department, we have a sales department, right, we have research R&D department, research and development department, and various other departments. Right now, from time to time, they have a requirement of various things, whether in the form of training or manpower, right, or other resources, right. So the role of a finance manager or a financial department works as a bridge between the management, between the top management and that particular department. So suppose if anyone is working in a sales department and he has some requirement for which he needs funds from the organization, or he wants the organization to spend funds on the activities which is important from the company's perspective. So in that scenario, that department will first approach the finance department, right, and along with the proposal and how much amount they want to sanction from the top management side. Then that finance manager will speak to the top management where they will put the concerns of that particular department and try to explain them the reason, right, and why allocating the money is important, right. And then based on the capital available with the organization, right, that amount of money will be allocated to that particular department, right. So this is just one of the examples or one of the objectives of a finance department or a financial management. Clear, everyone? Wilfred, clear? Kelvin? Okay, Dijesh has joined us just now. Dijesh, good evening, can you hear me? Dijesh, can you hear me? Okay, so we were just discussing about the objectives of a financial management. Okay. Next objective is to ensure adequate returns to the shareholders, which will depend upon the earning capacity, the market price of the share, expectations of the shareholders. Okay, 1 second. Cost. Let me segregate the objectives so that there will be no confusion. Okay, just give me a second. Let me take a glass of water and then we will continue. Okay. So I was discussing about the objectives. Next objective, to ensure optimum fund utilization. Once the funds are procured, they will be utilized in maximum possible way at least cost. Right. So the finance department or the financial management also make sure that the funds are properly utilized for the for the purpose of the organization only, right? Right, and there is no misuse of the funds. Next objective, to ensure safety on investment, that is, funds should be invested in safe ventures so that adequate rate of return can be achieved. Now suppose that if any organization has excess of capital, right, capital money, right, so what is the best way to multiply the money, right, to invest it in a proper policy, right, or to, so the finance department makes all such decisions, right. They make sure that the capital which is there with the organization is invested in a proper manner, and the right, and the organization is getting a proper rate of return for it. Next objective, to plan a sound capital structure. There should be sound and fair composition of capital so that a balance is maintained between a debt and equity level, right. Also, the financial management makes sure that there should be a proper balance between the debt and equity capital. I hope everyone is aware of the term debt. What is debt? Debt means it is a money which is owned by one party, right, and the debtor is the second party. An amount owned to a person or organization for funds borrowed, that is called debt. Right, so these are the major objectives of financial management, right, and there are other small objectives as well, but I have summarized these common objectives, major objectives. Let's see about the functions of a financial management, right. Let's see some of the common functions. What exactly does a financial management do in any organization? What work they do, right? Let's see. Okay, can all of you see? I have written it on the chat box, on the whiteboard. Okay, let me segregate it, just a second. Determination, choice. 1 second, let me segregate. Dividend declaration. Management of cash and financial. Okay. So the first function is the estimation of capital requirement. Right now, in each firm in a financial department, there is one finance manager, right, who has the authority to make the final decision related to finance, right, whom we call it as a finance manager. So a finance manager has to make the estimation with regards to the capital requirements of the company. This will depend upon expected cost and profits and future programs and policies of a concern. Estimations have to be made in an adequate manner which increases the earning capacity of enterprise, right? This is the first function. Then we have this finance management also has to determine the capital composition. Capital composition means once the estimation has been made, the capital structure have to be decided. Now all these things involves short-term and long-term debt equity analysis, which is again done by the financial management. This will depend upon the proportion of equity capital a company is possessing and additional funds which have to be raised from outside parties. Right now, suppose if the organization don't have enough capitals, right, then they have to organize or arrange the capital from outside parties, right? So all the communication which needs to be done from the organization's end will be done by the financial management. So this is another function. Clear, everyone? Any doubts so far? Anyone have? Kelvin, clear? Wilfred, Ajit? Okay, next function, choice of sources of funds. For additional funds to be procured, a company has many choices, like they can issue the shares and debentures, they can give loans to be, right, they can apply for the loans from the banks as well and other financial institutions, or they can ask for the public deposits to be drawn like in the form of bonds, or they also have a choice of factors which will depend on relative merits and demerits of each source and period of financing. Clear? So if the organization is in need of money or in need of funds, then they have these choices for arranging the money. Next function is investment of funds. The finance manager has to decide to allocate funds into profitable ventures so that there is safety on investment and regular returns is possible, right? So the finance manager is responsible for the investment of the capital which is available with the firm or organization, right? So the strategy of multiplying the capital has to be sorted out by the finance department. Then we have a disposal of surplus. Surplus means something in excess. That is what we mean by surplus. So the net profits decision have to be made by the finance manager. This can be done in two ways. First, dividend declaration, right? If the organization have the capital in surplus, right, they can give dividends to their shareholders, right? It includes identifying the rate of dividends and the other benefits like bonus. Sometimes the organization gives bonus to their investors. Then we have retained profits, right? So in retained profit, the volume has to be decided, which will depend upon expansional, innovational, diversification plans of the company. Clear? Retained profit, also known as retained earnings, right? Retained profit is also known as retained earnings. This is the definition of retained profit. This retained profit or retained earnings. The profits generated by a company that are not distributed to stockholders as dividends but are either reinvested in the business or kept as a reserve for a specific objective, such as to pay off a debt or to purchase a capital asset. Debt in Hindi is called qarz, if you remember, or the loan, right? A balance sheet figure shows under the heading retained earnings.